Welcome to November energies. There is a wonderful boost of energy coming in for a lot of us energetically sensitives. And this will feel like a really nice injection, you know, a really nice sort of download of inspiration, new ideas and new approaches. So while October was all about facing reality and understanding what self-responsibility means and where our patterns are located, and basically a little bit of a death of our ego, seeing where these ego illusions, lie to us. Okay, and so the big lesson from October was energy doesn't lie. Okay, and those of us here who are energetically sensitive and who are empaths now have a much better understanding of what I mean with this. And this means that we can't really go against our inner truth. But contextualizing our inner truth still remains a matter of discernment, still remains a matter of self-mastery. So this self-mastery component that came in here in October will continue for us throughout November, December, and all the way into the end of January. So there will be adversities here in the month of November, and for our societies it should be a very interesting and eventful month. For ourselves, personal lives as well. But not, maybe how our ego immediately contextualizes this as like, oh, fear, what's happening, is the stock market going to crash? Are we going to have war? Those are all valid questions. They're going to be on the menu here for November. But that's not what this is about. So the month of November will really help us to understand what spiritual health is. And I want to throw in a new word here. It's not new, but it's just a compound word. That's practical spirituality. We are now learning that all this knowledge, all this intellectual understanding and the figuring out and the trying to find, the seeking of another truth, of another piece of validation is not what really helps us in our practical life. This is not really what helps us to conduct better relationships, to attract more like-minded people into our lives, to attract jobs or just any kind of circumstances into our life that make us feel happy or fulfilled. So here in November, we will have to find out how to implement all this knowledge, all this mental understanding that we have into practical spiritual terms, and it will lead to a whole new perspective on what this global awakening that so many of us talk about really means. A new way of living, a new way of loving, a new way of making money, a new way of fully expressing ourselves as individuals, but simultaneously accepting that we are all connected, that we are all part of this continuum, this collective. And so these new insights, which first come to us in an intellectual way, they now need to be implemented with new approaches and new strategies, guys. So this is all about, sometimes perhaps a little forced, accepting new perspectives. There's going to be a major shift here in November. And if we look back to the end of 2018, maybe in 10 years from now, we will recognize this. There's a major shift. This is like a new reality is being birthed right now. So you don't need to be worried about the apocalypse anymore, because technically it's already happening, but apocalypse is not what it will turn out as. That was just your ego's fear. And this is where we all get caught in this illusion of our ego. It immediately makes everything a matter of life and death. Okay. But we are not just bodies with a soul. We are souls with a body. That means that we are true selves here on our journey, and that for some reason, just the mere fact that we've chosen to incarnate in this time here of collective evolution tells us a lot about us and our purpose and our meaning. So trying to find the deeper purpose and meaning, and moving to its fulfillment really then becomes part of this task in becoming practical with our spirituality. One aspect that I've mentioned or continually mentioned in the energy updates is our physicality. Not just accepting that we have a 3D body and that this body has needs, but also really using it, using our body as a tuning fork, as part of this journey, and being curious about new things, being curious about evolution. Evolution is driven by imperfection, guys. Don't focus on your flaws. Focus on the opportunities that come through that. Okay? The only thing that can help you here to out-vibrate your fears, be it, that you're not lovable enough, or that you're not pretty enough, or that you're not skinny enough, or that you're not successful enough, or whatever, is your curiosity. So as an overall theme here for the month of November, expect miracles. Expect the unexpectable or the unexpected. Expect random things and expect to be inspired and to really tune into your co-creative powers. So that's what a miracle is. Okay? A miracle is something that happens to you that your ego couldn't have done. Because your ego is intrinsically limited to its own illusion. It cannot transcend itself. A miracle is something that comes in through higher power, through your inner higher power, through your true self. So from an energy code word perspective, we call this true self-intervention. So a miracle is a true self-intervention from our point of view because it's always there. We can see this in your energy field. And once in a while, your true self says, hang on, you really got to go into that direction. Okay, and this comes to us in form of accidents, in form of loss, in form of major decisions, such as quitting our job, or getting divorced, or moving to a different country, or starting a whole new career. Okay, and it will be scary as hell, and it will really, shake us and make us feel very distracted with confusion and fear. But what it really is you listening to your inner truth. And so our decision-making process here will be refined, okay? And what will do this for us? Our ability to discern our true inner voice from that negative, critical inner voice. So those of you working here with us at transCODES could already feel this. The last week was very much about actively working with your true inner voice and learning how to turn the volume of your inner critic down. Have an experience that this constant criticism and judgment and fixation on what is not working or what we don't have yet, that this is aligning our energy into the wrong direction. It's aligning ourselves to pessimism and negativity. And so a big part of this year in the coming 4 to 6 weeks will be to actively do this, to actively reframe our experiences into optimism and to witness ourselves birthing a new reality. So this boost that many of you are feeling right now, this one will not go on for the entire month, okay? So there's, the boost will lead to, our ego sort of getting dragged into self-indulgence and specialness again, and then 2, it's, you know, the middle of the month, okay, you're going to get pulled into distraction again, okay, you know, like self-doubt, worthiness issues, sabotage cycles, trying to find the shortcut, trying to find the instant gratification, you know, the part here, you know, that gives you sort of the feeling, you know, that you're back in control. So that one you're going to have to counteract a bit towards the middle of the month. And then the 3rd week is actually going to be really cool because it brings in a deeper perspective on everything, just through collective energies, just through the collective weather conditions, and it will allow you to really get a deeper hold of sort of what your habits are, and how, you know, even some of these unconscious, these subconscious habits, you know, we call them energetic habits, how they are counterproductive. And so this discernment process will then take on a whole another level here, and it will allow you to see the larger context, to see things more holistically, to even see yourselves and others more holistically. And with it, you know, develop a new sense for what true belonging is. So on a collective level here, November is going to bring in a big shift, mostly in regards to societal values, to with the, you know, of course also political aspects and money-related things. On a planetary level, there's going to be a lot of fire and air. So I'm expecting earthquakes. I'm expecting things that have that in nature, but also, you know, ether, also the deeper view of things. So towards the end of October, it's going to get very, very spiritual in a good way for those of us who are working on the practical implementation. It can send others into a deep, dark night of the soul towards the end of the month. So we're going to have to watch this, okay? It's not going to be easy for people who can't contextualize this deeper meaning, this deeper inner voice coming forward, okay? So let me just give you a quick overview here, what we should pay attention to, physically, emotionally, mentally, and so forth. On a physical level, this boost here that coming in the first week, you know, first 2 weeks, is really good for us to understand what our basic needs are and where we need to love ourselves more and where we go too much into complacency. So I would recommend all of you to take this as a challenge. You know, use this boost of energy to challenge yourself, challenge your body, engage in something that is, you know, really exhausting to a degree, you know, like cross training or something along those lines. See this as an opportunity to really develop more physical strength, but also, you know, to really feel into your body what your basic needs are. So if you have conditions that don't allow you to do sports like that, then, you know, go into exploring what really helps you, you know, to balance your energy and to maybe make your life a little more beautiful. Okay, so taking a hot bath, you know, and maybe adding some beautiful crystals and bath salt to it, or fragrances, you know, play with etheric oils, you know, play around with the things that work for you a little bit. Allow yourselves, you know, to be sensual but practical at the same time. Emotionally, I've already mentioned this, a lot of it has to do here with our ability to reframe our pessimism into optimism. So we're gonna have to be careful with where our attention goes. If we can feel that the focus of our attention goes into negativity, that's when your sabotage cycles, when your subconscious habits, you know, and this can lead to like indulgements and then feeling guilty about this again and then beating yourselves up again. So that's a sabotage cycle. When your focus is drawn to instant gratification or numbing yourself, those are things that are not conducive for you. They do not allow you to stay in the present. And if you cannot stay in the present, as we've learned last month, then it's impossible for you to see the larger picture and to tap into your future. So allow these deeper aspects to come forward. Sit in them. Don't numb yourself. Okay, it's going to be very important, especially in the second half of November. Mentally, it's all about being open, experiencing, observing, witnessing, really understanding that these are all programs that you have to go through all the way to the end, but allowing them to provide you with new perspectives and deeper understanding so that you can discern better in the future. So your decision-making process is going to be affected by this in a positive way. But you're going to have to be careful with your ego mind's limitations. So here's where the expect miracles comes in, okay? Expect the unexpected, but not in a scary way, in a good way. Your ego can only come up with as far as it can see. Miracles are things that come in through your higher power, and they have the ability to out-vibrate, to transcend your ego's limitations. So some of that will have to do with us accepting limitations. That was a big theme here towards the end of October, accepting our own limitations and those of others, because that can bring in unconditionality and non-judgment. And those you're going to need to evolve. Socially, in relationships or at work, this is going to be a very social month for you. So, those of you who still believe in the ivory tower or sitting on a mountaintop is spiritual, you're going to feel very, very lonely because there's a lot of opportunity here, a lot of new territory to explore. Okay? Go to concerts, go to groups, self-help groups, or sports, team sports, or knitting groups, or card playing groups, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Allow yourself to accept that you are, after all, designed to be part of the whole, not just physically, also on an energetic level. We are just tiny little specks of the big hologram that we call the universe, that we call the divine. Okay, so in us is the information of the entire universe contained, but we cannot pretend that we are not part of the universe. So we're going to have to, on a practical level, really engage, interact with it, build relationships, relate to it. So there's new territory, but also new boundaries and new borders, and codependency here will be a big subject again in November. Okay, because we're going to feel the push there from other people, and learning how to not project and learning how to not absorb from other people. So for many of you, this will be a month where learning new rules of engagement, between people, energetic dynamics, energetic mechanisms will be very beneficial for you. So learning how chakras work, how energy exchange or energetic interaction between people works will be very helpful for you. Spiritually, we'll be in the course, of these waves here in November. We'll experience, a lot of this, what many of us already struggle with, and that is straddling two worlds. Okay, so having this spiritual self, this true self, that keeps showing us things that are beyond what our ego can comprehend. And at the same time, having this ego mind that constantly tries to give it form, that tries to judge it, that tries to perfect it, that tries to seek for more. Okay, and this is here where we really need to find the outer limits of what is conducive for us and what isn't. You have to learn how to straddle these two worlds. And one of the ways that you're going to encounter this is that you're going to realize that all this knowledge, all this money, this time, the resources that you spend in knowledge, that they're just tiny tools, but they're not really the keys to happiness and fulfillment and to finding purpose and fulfillment, purpose and happiness in life. It's your knowingness and the balance of both. So allow your knowledge to be there, but give your knowingness, your inner knowingness, your true inner voice enough space to exist, to coexist peacefully without constantly feeling this inner conflict, confusion, and contradiction inside. Okay, so practical spirituality will be the big subject here for you. What it means to be spiritual. And one other aspect that's coming in regards to the spiritual aspects in November is the power in silence. To not always broadcast everything out. And even though we're still, at least the first week here, we're working on self-expression, and overall, of course, on our journey, we're working on self-actualization. But there is a power in allowing things to unfold and to not necessarily predetermine them or to be preoccupied or trying to give it too much form. So believe in miracles. Expect miracles. If you can have faith that miracles lie beyond your ego, beyond your knowledge, and that it's your knowingness and your true self and your energy that can get you there, okay, then you can sit there like a peaceful warrior and you can just wait this out. You can communicate, you can interact with other people, but you don't have to project anything. You don't have to wear yourselves out, your third chakra, by constantly pushing into others or seeking or wanting. So energetically, then, that leads to us really needing to have a deeper look at our energetic habits, And when this happens, when do we project? When does our mind project something onto to us as well? So the fusioned heart-mind as a spiritual concept, where we can join our mind and our heart. And when I say heart, I don't mean emotions. I mean, the gateway to your true self, to your true inner power. The fusion heart-mind will be a big subject because it's needed for really birthing this new reality and for owning our manifestation powers. Okay, so I strongly recommend you guys to learn about your own energies and energetic interaction and learn that your body is a tuning fork, is an energetic tuning fork. So don't numb your body either with pain pills or with, sort of trying to overcompensate with things. Allow your body to tell you what is conducive for you and what isn't. This will greatly help you to discern and to ride this wonderful sort of new energy that is coming in here for all of us, to manifest this transformation. Okay, everybody. I hope this is enough info to give you a good idea of what to focus on in the month of November. I hope to see you in the energy updates here every Thursday on Facebook Live at noon. And those of you who want, in-depth energy tips every week, go to my Patreon channel. There you can become a patron, and you get in-depth info and extra articles and perks and so forth. For those of you who want to work with me directly for 3 months to make this transformation real, check out our Heart Warrior program. That is a highly personalized 90-day combination of energy work and energy coaching with workshops and a lot of education as well. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. I'm getting all your hearts and thank yous. So have a wonderful last week or weekend here in October. Enjoy the clarity and the boost that's coming in. Don't get distracted by some of the violent stuff around us right now, okay? Have compassion for that as well. Most people cannot contextualize what they're experiencing, and so they're just freaking out. Okay? All the best for you. Lots of optimism, lots of miracles for you in November. Thank you. Bye-bye.